Thank you for spending your time with us here on episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. I'm your host, Josh Kirby. A huge thanks to all of our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share at 540-935-1069, in the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Another week in the books, and we have a full slate, a full lineup here on episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast, but cannot present any of that full lineup without one half of the three-man booth. I am one half, so technically two halves of the three-man booth. The weapon, Dan Dembski. What is up, buddy?
I'm good, and I have to correct you. It's 1/3. All right, it's just so you know, it's 1/3.
1/3.
I am, and you and I are 2/3, and we'll bring in the most rambunctious member of the Kirby on Sports podcast team shortly. But no, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
The season is flying by. I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but it's gone by fast so far this year. It's crazy.
I agree with you. It's flying by like a snap of a finger. I truly cannot believe it. But to round out the three-man booth is none other than the three-time reigning, defending, almost at 1,000 days as title holder to the prestigious Kirby on Sports PickEm, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez.
You see, Kirby, here's the thing. We did this once before already.
Yeah.
I literally made a brief cameo to correct you. How you once again managed to do one half of three pieces is beyond comprehension. You need to be studied, sir, because how do you mess up this many times?
Yeah, I knew I screwed it up from the get-go. It's thirds, not a half. Thirds, because there are three members of the three-man booth, and I screwed it up.
Yes.
Simple as that.
It's good to see you, Carlos.
It's great to be here amongst the people and the millions and millions of the Swiss Army Knives fans.
There we go.
All right, Rock.
Somebody has to be the heel of the podcast. Somebody's got to bring the charisma. I'm the walking embodiment of it.
So, gentlemen, another exciting week in the NFL. Starting off with, at the top, talk about some headlines. First and foremost, week 8, a ton of blowouts.
Sucked.
Yeah. Terrible.
It sucked.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are we going to have a close game? And the only close game, the Jets getting their first win of the season over Joe Flacco in the Cincinnati Bengals. And boys, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Jets, none of those players probably played with him, but
not a single one.
No,
he played for Nick Mangold, who
maybe
tragically
Nick Folk did. Right, Nick Folk probably did. Nick Folk's been in the league for a while, so maybe Nick Folk played with
20
him.
years. Yeah.
When I saw him, when I saw him, I was like, "What? He's still in the league? This guy's still kicking?" Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So, I would think some of them were playing for a former Jets alum who really made a big impact in the league. Nick Mangold, who lost his life at the young age of 41 years old after complications from kidney disease. You never want to hear that. And it sucked because maybe a month ago he was on social media asking for a kidney because he needed one.
Yeah, it's a tragic situation. I think he as everyone has seen. Now, he was ill for quite some time. But even still, I think people were saddened and shocked, most of all, by all of this happening. So it's just an awful situation. My heart goes out to his family. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. It's always hard to say goodbye, but I think it's even harder when you're not ready to say goodbye to that person. So, yeah, that's what I would say. And yeah, his NFL career speaks for itself. I mean, he was a fantastic player. He only played for the Jets, I'm pretty sure. Spent all of his years with the Jets. And, I mean, everyone who has said anything about him, he was a stand-up guy, both on and off the field. Great player, great teammate. But most importantly, and I think throughout all this we've heard, a great family man and certainly someone that everyone has good things to say about. So that's truly, to me, like what it's all about. Not just about what they're like on the field, but what they're mostly like off the field and all those things. So it's just a tragic situation. Congrats to the Jets for getting their first win. You could see that they were definitely inspired by that, especially at the end of the game. And I think it gave them the extra push they needed to come back and win that football game. It was cool to see that.
Yeah, I mean, sad to hear that he passed. Like you said, he was an absolute legend. He's somebody I remember watching when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, Dan, by all accounts, he was a stand-up guy. So there's just not really much to say. It's just tragic. Again, it was a genetic defect that caused him to get kidney disease, and he couldn't find a family donor. None of them, I guess, matched. So he was looking for a match elsewhere for somebody to donate to him, and he thought he was going to have more time, and it turns out he didn't have any more time. And it's sad. It's tragic. 41 is super young, especially for somebody like him who was a top-notch athlete. So yeah, that obviously sad, but yeah, good on the Jets and on Justin Fields, responding to his owner throwing him under the bus by winning that game. It was that's the sad thing, is that nobody expected that to be the thrilling game of the week, and it was the only thrilling game of the week, because then everything else was just absolute doo-doo. It was all blowouts. It was no close games. It was not competitive. It was a bad week of football, but at least we got some shining light out of it with the Jets winning their first game of the season.
Yeah, that is a great point. I'd forgotten about that other storyline from this time, I guess last week or early last week, when what's his name, Woody
Johnson.
Yep, yeah. Woody Johnson.
Called out Fields personally. That is brutal. And I don't know if you guys heard too, but he mentioned, I think in the post game, that like he had a really tough week as far as handling that was concerned. Like he was very emotional about it, and kind of poured his thoughts out, his heart and soul out as to how he was feeling about that situation. But yeah, hats off to him. I know we've been critical of him on this podcast before, but he seems like he has at least for this week overcome that criticism. We'll see if it can continue, but yeah, that was a great way to respond to all that adversity from Justin Fields and the Jets in general. But yeah, it's obviously terrible circumstances around the reason there. But
what really wrecked me was seeing Rex Ryan talk about Nick Mangold on, I believe it was Sunday NFL Countdown, if I'm not mistaken, and just seeing his emotion as a coach who coached him as a player, that just, my heart goes out to Rex, because that story he told to it sort of painted the picture on what kind of a guy Nick Mangold was, not on the field, but off the field.
Yeah, it exemplified his character, right? And that's ultimately what I think everyone is taking away from Nick Mangold's life and career as well. So, yeah, that was a very powerful delivery by Rex Ryan. You don't often see that on TV, so it's kind of in a way refreshing to see someone show some real emotion. in that respect, and obviously you could tell it was a real moment, which was
And
good to see.
it was funny too. There was a moment on an old episode of Hard Knocks. I'm not sure if you saw it.
So here we go. Was it really funny, Kirby, or was it Kirby
Yeah,
funny?
it's the
We got a fine line here. Was it actually funny, or was it Kirby funny?
yeah.
Well, do you know what I'm referring to or not?
No, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Rex, yeah, the Jets had Hard Knocks and that year, and Rex was the head coach, obviously, and he said, "Man, it's something along the lines of Nick Mangold. That money is getting to him because last night I was at Taco Bell, and guess who I see at Taco Bell? Nick Mangold."
Okay.
That's
That was actually
hilarious.
funny. Yeah, that was actually
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Good
Yep,
job,
the money's-
Kirby. You did it. You did it.
He did it. He did it. All he needed was a cold, and he did it.
So
Good man.
yeah, but I my thoughts and prayers out to Nick Mangold, his entire family. I remember watching him play. I don't remember a whole lot, but I know every time I caught a Jets game back when I was younger and just seeing what he was able to do was very cool to see. And I'm sure the Jets will hopefully honor his legacy the right way, however they might do it. I know he's already in the Jets Ring of Honor as well. So just it's just very sad to hear about him and wishing him and his family nothing but the best.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
All right, moving on. This is a pretty major headline. Heard this on Monday NFL Countdown. Patrick Surtain, candidate for injured reserve. I believe it was a pectoral strain tear, something of that nature, suffered in the win against the Dallas Cowboys. But that's huge for the Broncos if Surtain goes on IR, missing big stretch of games.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, Patrick Surtain is one of the premier cornerbacks in this league. I mean, he's just flat out one of the best. I mean, he was reigning defensive player of the year. There's no way to really equate how much he means to that Denver defense. Now, the Denver defense luckily did fine without him, but it's different when he's on there. Like the way they were running things is they had him shutting down Pickens, and then they were going to have two guys on CD Lamb. Basically, was their game plan against the Dallas Cowboys, and they had to adjust. But that's how much they trust him. They're like, hey, like we know you're going to shut down whoever it is, so go shut down this guy. Then we can put two guys on this guy, and we'll be okay. Surtain is, he's an unbelievable talent. It sucks because like he got injured a little bit earlier. It looked like it was like a shin injury or something like that, and then somehow his his pec was next, and it's not really certain like where exactly he hurt that. I don't necessarily remember when he hurt it. It was early in the game, obviously, but I don't know what play it was, or I didn't necessarily see anything that like led me to think, oh, he's hurt. But yeah, definitely a huge loss for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and from what I can see, there's no real timetable, right? I mean, there's a timetable, but they don't know exactly how long it's going to be out. So it's going to be this, quote, several weeks. So,
well, all they know is that they avoided like catastrophe where it's
right,
season ending, right? So like he'll be able to come back. So my guess is it's a strain, and they're just going to be very careful with it because obviously a strain will turn into a tear, and you don't want him to tear it because then he'll take a year to come back.
Exactly, yeah. This is especially the position he plays and what he means to this defense. He's the unabashed leader of that defense for sure. They definitely have to. I mean, we'll see how it affects their defense for sure. I think that's going to be the most interesting thing for me, especially the secondary. It's been pretty solid this season, obviously with his leadership. So, yeah, it's awful to see that. I'm really glad. Again, we've talked about this with other players that he avoided serious injury to this point, but. I think the Broncos, like you guys said, they're going to be cautious. They're not going to rush him back. That's the last thing you want to do. And, I mean, they're in a pretty good spot right now. It's not like, they are in a do or die mode this season. So
No, but when you got Kansas City coming to your house in a couple weeks, and obviously they're trying to maintain first place in the division. You don't want to lose your best players right now. So
I agree.
Right. And you hope he's fine by then. You hope, but yeah, it's probably going to be a little longer than that, I would imagine. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, this has been a brutal season for injuries in general. It seems like every week we've highlighted at least 2 guys that have
I agree.
Major what's the word?
Just major injuries. Yeah,
major injuries that are the leaders of their team. So this has been a tough year in general on both sides of the ball for a lot of teams. So I don't know what it is, and I don't know how you not prevent it, but how you can lessen
it's just
it.
football. It just happens.
It's just football.
It's just football. It just happens.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
All right, so last but not least, and I'm glad we added this to the headlines, Myles Garrett with an exceptional outing. Like
5 sacks.
5 sacks, but making a mistake signing with the Cleveland Browns. I feel like he could be a good, serviceable talent with any team putting up the numbers that he did.
Stop the cap right there. God, I didn't get the sound ready. A good, serviceable talent? Kirby, this is Myles freaking Garrett we're talking about. He wouldn't be serviceable. He would be exceptional for any team.
That's what I'm sorry. I meant exceptional.
Of course. Of course. Here we go. Good old Kirbyisms over here. That's not what I meant. Look, you already had me crash out last week. Don't make me crash out again this week, please. No,
I meant
one crash out a season. Only one crash out a season, okay? You got your one. If you get another one, it becomes personal. But yes.
He tore it up out there. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
You get 5 sacks, but yet your team gets absolutely obliterated out there. Is crazy work, and it's just he took the money, even though he was sitting there saying, "Oh, I want to go play for a winner." Why would you stay in Cleveland? What about Cleveland made you stay? Like, you didn't have to sign that contract. You could have gotten your money elsewhere. So while yes, it sucks seeing Myles Garrett waste his, incredible talent and career in Cleveland at a franchise that just is allergic to success. When they find success, they somehow have managed to mess it up, i.e. Baker Mayfield. It's just like, it's hard for me to feel sorry when you decided to re-sign with them. You knew what it was. Like, everybody was telling you, if you want to win a championship, if you want to be on a contender, you have to leave Cleveland. And he decided to stay in Cleveland because they offered him a monster contract. Look, go get your money. But at the same time, it's also really hard to feel bad for you when you decided to take the money instead of going to find a championship. And it just, it sucks seeing him waste it. But at the same time, I don't necessarily feel the worst for him because at the end of the day, he decided to take money over legacy kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm sure he has his reasons why he decided to stay in Cleveland. And like you said, I'm sure the contract had a lot to do with that. And I mean, I agree. I think if I were in those shoes, and it's obviously easy for me, an out of shape, nearly 30-year-old person to say this, but I would rather take less money and go to a contender, or at least a team that has a chance to contend for a championship. I mean, everybody wants to play for Kansas City. Let's face it, but not everyone can. So
we've already established not everybody wants to play for Kansas City.
yeah. Well, obviously, but it's one of the more interesting storylines to me across the last 10 years in the NFL is like, and it's sort of like what we talked about before. Like he's a Hall of Famer in my mind on any team he plays on. But that resume would probably be better if he was on a more successful franchise, for sure. Because when you have the team accomplishments as well as the individual awards and all the things he's done, that put him up there as one of the best pass rushers in NFL history, then he's obviously he could have gone down as one of the greatest of all time. I think, especially if he has that, if he already has that prowess. So I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's just also crazy how fast he got to become one of the fastest guys to reach 100 career sacks as well. So he's done it all in his career. It's just kind of a shame that he's kind of just been stuck in neutral in Cleveland, like Carlos alluded to. And they have certainly not done him any favors to help him build, that career he's had. So, yeah, it's one of the great mysteries. It's Cleveland is where teams go, where
players go to die,
or waste their careers away, or both. Yes, I should say and/or. So that's kind of it, man. I don't have a ton more to add. I think Carlos nailed it perfectly, and it's just kind of a shame, really, quite frankly. But as long as Myles Garrett's happy, I guess, then so be it. Maybe. He's
I don't know. He didn't look happy at the end of that game. He was sitting on the bench by himself, like. Yeah. It's.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone would be happy, but what do I know? It's a strange situation. I'll say that much. But yeah.
Just seeing what he was able to do I believe you touched on this before, Dan, but seeing what he can do, if you place him on a contender with a good defense, man,
well,
I can only imagine.
What was the fear when he was like about to hit free agency was that like he was going to end up being either traded or he was going to sign with Philly. And that was the fear because we all know Philly's already got a monster defensive line as it is with, the players that they have, and adding Myles Garrett, like who was going to stop them? And obviously we saw nobody was able to stop them last year, the Eagles, but imagine with a Myles Garrett, like imagine where they would be like today. The Eagles have obviously had their struggles throughout the season. Things haven't necessarily looked completely right while, yes, they're still winning games, but adding the Myles Garrett to like a Philly would be game changing. Imagine him, on Kansas City. Kansas City's been having pass rush issues because they're double teaming Chris Jones, and then the rest of the guys can't win quickly. And imagine having a Myles Garrett with a Chris Jones. The Chiefs would be absolutely unstoppable. You add Myles Garrett to any contender,
any team, yep.
He's just gonna he's gonna transform that defense to make that defense pretty much unstoppable. And he decided to keep his talents in Cleveland, where he knew with the quarterback situation and just seeing the history of the franchise that it's not going to change. And Cleveland is in the gutter. They are like forever in the gutter. So he decided to take the money. Look, get your money, get your bag. I respect that. But at the same time, like, don't ask me to feel bad for you because, I'm not saying that's what he's saying, right? Like, it's not like Myles Garrett is out here saying, oh, feel bad for me because I'm stuck in this situation. But if the media like story of, we should feel bad for him. Yeah, it sucks that he's wasting his talent there, but I don't feel bad for him because he chose to stay there.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that does it for the headlines here on episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Coming up next, we are going to get into our teams and how they did in the home field report. Should be a lot of fun in this segment. Stick right here with us. Guys, Josh Kirby here with my friends at Frederick County Parks and Recreation, the title sponsor of Kirby on Sports. Winter basketball, one of their most exciting sports leagues, tipping off here soon. Registration is open until November 10th. The Thanksgiving Day 5K, one of the biggest races of the year, and the New York City trip that Parks and Recreation offers each and every winter. If you're interested in any of those or even more activities that Parks and Recreation has to offer, you can visit their website at fcprd.net for more information. For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. We are back in business, episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. It's time for the home field report. I'm with the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. We get it started with a 30-16 Baltimore Ravens victory over the Chicago Bears. I must say, I guess taking out the ping pong tables and all the games worked tremendously, Dan.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. I had forgotten about that until now, actually.
Also lying on an injury report too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of
It was
that.
a mistake. It was a mistake. They messed up.
Yeah, but someone's got to know the rules. Like, come on, that is ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, this was about as good of a game you could play without Lamar Jackson. I felt like this was the first game where I'd seen the Ravens really until their first win against the Browns, where they kind of put it all together. I mean, still wasn't perfect. There were obviously some areas for improvement, but I think especially defensively, and look, I know the Bears aren't the greatest offense in the NFL, but they were, I think they had been better at times this year than people give them credit for sure, especially Caleb Williams. We started to see him come around. I felt like the defense really, really stepped up in this game, especially you took a look at those first two Bears drives of the game. They drive all the way down the field, but the Ravens, they bent but didn't break pretty much all day, and just they give up 2 field goals in the first quarter. It could have easily been 14-0 the way that Chicago was driving on both of those drives, but the defense was able to get a stop, which throughout this season has been an issue for this defense, giving up big plays, especially for touchdowns. So I was happy with that. I think most importantly, the defense did what they had to do. Not a dominant performance, of course. They're not there yet. They still have to get more healthy on the defensive side of the ball. But I think once they start to get some more pieces back and they're able to kind of get back at the level they were before, at least somewhat at the level they were before, I think they're going to be fine defensively. And then on offense, I think the key in this game was pretty simple. You simplify the game plan. You run the football as much as you can. Try to make it as easy as possible for Tyler Huntley in the passing game, which I think the Ravens did a good job of. And, that was pretty much the game plan. And I think kind of similar to the defense, the Ravens didn't take a ton of deep shots in this game, which I was fine with. I think when you have your backup quarterback in there, you're kind of limited to what you can do. But overall, I thought Tyler Huntley played well. I mean, you talk about the long run he had that eventually led to a touchdown. I forget what quarter that was in. I have to check now. But I believe it was in the second half at some point when he busted off a big run and a lot of people said he looked a little bit like Lamar, but of course he runs into Zay Flowers, and it was kind of funny at the same time because it was like if he cuts outside, it's probably a touchdown. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna say I was blown away by how they played, but I was definitely happy with what they were able to do on both sides of the ball. And of course, Tyler Loop looks like he's got his confidence. He never really lost it, but 3 field goals for him, and then of course the extra points as well. He had a good game, and it was kind of the Ravens played well enough in all 3 phases. There's still a lot of work to do. Obviously, Lamar was out for this game. I'm going to touch on some of the what I understand to be the issues there. I think Carlos alluded to it at the top, but he'll be back. We have a short week game coming up on Thursday against Miami down there. So it's a good. I think it was kind of in a way a blessing in disguise that Lamar didn't play, and so he gets a little extra rest, a few days extra rest there for the game on Thursday. So I think it worked out well. And look, the Ravens' schedule is. I've seen various analytics, but it seems to be like 31st as far as strength of schedule here for this second half ish of the season. And we all know, like, obviously Pittsburgh's leading the division. Their toughest games are coming up, so you kind of have the flip side of that. That's kind of just the way the schedule works out, but they're really the biggest challenger for the Ravens in the AFC North. I still think it's going to be tough for us to win the division, of course. Basically going to have to win out. But I think this was a good stepping stone, a good confidence builder. And, I for once, the Ravens closed out a game as well in the fourth quarter. And got forced a turnover in the fourth quarter, which is something that also has not happened in quite a long time. This is a defense that hadn't really done much of that. So that's kind of all I got. I'm excited for Lamar Jackson to come back. I think it'll be I'm hoping this will be the kind of game on Thursday where he does more Lamar Jackson things that we're used to seeing, and the Ravens are able to start to make more of a run here as we get into the second half of the season. And, that's kind of all I got.
So, okay, so I'm looking at their schedule right now. Right now, we are looking at, okay, so they play the Dolphins on Thursday. By all accounts, I'm guessing Lamar's probably going to be ready for that game. I'm going to chalk that up as a win. Then they go to Minnesota and play Minnesota. We've seen Minnesota. They haven't necessarily looked that great. I think we can chalk that one up as a win. Then they play the Cleveland Browns. That should be a win. Then they play the Jets. That should be a win. Then they play the Bengals on Thanksgiving.
Bengals are probably split. I don't know, though.
In Baltimore, I'm going to say they're going to win, especially considering it's Joe Flacco at quarterback. So at this point, going into Thanksgiving, you are looking at 7-5. Then you play your game against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off of a mini bye at home. I'm going to say you're going to win that one. I mean, I don't know. That Pittsburgh defense is not all that it's made out to be.
Nah, they're kind of overrated. I agree.
Okay, now here comes the trickier games. Then you got the Bengals at the Bengals. Now, obviously, you guys beat them on Thanksgiving. You think they're going to split that? So let's say the Bengals win that. Mm-hmm. Then you got the Patriots coming in.
Yeah, they're looking good.
And the Patriots are no slouch. They're a really, really good team. I could see that as a loss, especially because it's Vrabel we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's say that's a loss. Then you got the Packers in Green Bay on a Saturday in December. Well, actually, that game isn't like set. That might be a win for Green Bay. And then Baltimore does not win in Pittsburgh. They just never really do. Lamar struggles to win in Pittsburgh. So let's say that's a loss. Let's say that's how it chalks up. Let's say that's the season chalks up. You're looking at 8-9. Now, here are games that I personally would flip. I think you guys beat the Bengals twice.
I can see that.
I think you guys beat the Steelers twice because I really don't believe in the Steelers. You know where that puts you guys? 10-7. 10-7 could win it, especially beating the Steelers twice. But essentially, it's not that you have to win out. It's just there's not a lot of margin for error
There's
here.
not a lot of margin for error, right? You may have a game or two. Well, right
Yeah.
now, two.
Essentially,
2 games.
essentially, I'm giving you guys 2 games, a 2-game buffer.
I think that sounds about right to me. Yeah.
Because basically, I'm giving, and you guys could beat New England. So let's say you guys even beat New England, then you're 11-6 and you're golden.
Well, 11-6 would be perfect. Yeah, for sure.
And that'll give you about the 4 seed probably. So, there's a reason why you guys are the favorites now to win the division, even though you only have 2 wins, and it's because the schedule is pretty favorable going forward, considering you still have 1 game against the Browns, 2 games against the Bengals, a game against the Jets.
Most of our division games, right?
Yeah, and then 2 games against the Steelers. And there's, again, it's a lot of easy teams. It's not how it was at the beginning part of the season, where you're facing Buffalo and Kansas City, and just
we got the juggernauts out of the way.
Murder's Row.
Yeah.
So
which kind of worked out.
The dance is still available,
sure,
but it's just there's not a lot of room for you guys to mess up here. So
100%.
Can you guys do it? I hope. I mean, it's not going to be as fun. We already got one stooge. That stooge right there's team is probably not going to make it to the dance.
No.
We can't just have my team in the dance.
Yeah, the thing is too, like, even if they make it, I don't know if they have the makeup this year for a team that can make a deep run. Of course, they have
probably not, but still, you just never know. I mean, who would have thought that the Giants were going to win the Super Bowl in 2007?
True. That is true.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Especially going up against. They went up against the juggernauts. They went up against the Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, and then the undefeated Patriots, the final boss of that season, and they won. So, but granted, they had a great defense. They have a C. Spagnuolo defense. He's on our team now. But, it's not out of the question that the Ravens can make the playoffs. Now, whether they can win the Super Bowl this year, that remains to be seen. Anything can happen. Anybody can get hot at the right time. They can get hot. And it's not like they don't have weapons. They have all the weapons on offense. It's just that defense definitely needs to continue this trajectory that they're on. Because I believe I agree with you. I think they played very well here against the Bears. And they bent, but they didn't break, which is good. That's at least what you want. And the offense was humming with Huntley more than they were with Cooper Rush, because, like we've been saying, Cooper Rush made no sense as the backup quarterback. That
imagine if he started those other games, they might have
had a shot. I always feel like the backup quarterback should reflect the starting quarterback in terms of skill set and stuff.
Compliment.
It should complement him, and we know that this Ravens offense is built for a mobile quarterback like Lamar Jackson. That was not Cooper Rush. Rush was never like that. And I never understood why he was the Cowboys backup quarterback. He won a lot of games as the Cowboys backup quarterback, but he was never asked to be a mobile, because Dak himself, while Dak can run, he's not really a mobile quarterback.
He's not mobile either. Right.
That offense is tailor-made for somebody like Cooper Rush, who doesn't want to run. Like, Dak doesn't like to run. And that's just not the case here for Baltimore. So it never made sense why they signed him as the backup quarterback, but they did. Yeah. So, hopefully Lamar comes back Thursday and you guys get on track and you guys get into the dance.
Yeah, I think you all said it perfectly, and very good points there by both of you for sure. I think, just in my mind, it was very refreshing to see the Ravens put together a pretty good performance to get the victory against the Chicago Bears, because I know this team has been struggling, and I know you personally, Dan, haven't really been not a lot of excitement with all the tough losses, the tough breaks, but to see a performance where the Ravens go out, score a good chunk of points, and get a victory, that must have just been very refreshing to see.
Oh, absolutely. And I think another side effect of this is that you become when you lose, like you become disinterested in other games, right? You become disinterested in watching more football. So I felt like after the Ravens game on Sunday, I wanted to watch a little bit of every other game, which that was the first time I'd felt that way in a while. So that was just kind of another like minor thing about it. But yeah, I was pleased. I was pleased. Obviously, always like I said at the top, there's always work to be done. There's always fixes, improvements, and Chief makes his appearance. So cute. But yeah, I think as much crap as I give John Harbaugh, I think generally they tend to make those changes and improvements generally during the regular season. Now, postseason's another issue.
Yeah, but it's just annoying that it feels like it's been like the past 3 seasons that they've had to keep doing this. They get off to a really bad start, and then they have to make these changes. It's like, why can't they just get off to a good start? Like, why do they have to keep doing
last
this?
Year, right? Even last year, where they were 1-3 or whatever they were at that point, and they had to go on a historic run, which they did. But yeah, it's crazy. This keeps happening. It's not good for our blood pressures either as fans. So hopefully they can fix that, and I don't have to, get any medication for my blood pressure. But yeah, I think Carlos nailed it well, and yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for the rest of the season. I'll say that because I think it is going to be tough. But like Carlos said, we don't have a lot of room for error at this point.
Essentially, every game is going to have to be treated like a playoff game.
Every
so
game,
it's like the playoffs have already started for you guys because, like I said, there's maybe like a 2-game margin of error here.
Maybe, and that's
maybe, and that just depends on what happens with Pittsburgh. Because of Pittsburgh, you got 2 games against Pittsburgh, so that could be your margin of error right there. Is those 2 games against Pittsburgh?
Those are the real playoff games, I think, at that point. Yeah, for sure.
Yep,
for sure. So.
Well, there you have it. The Ravens with a victory over the Chicago Bears. And coming up next, I think we'll have a very interesting...
Sweet victory.
Are we going to sing the song?
Well, yeah.
In the home?
He can't, but I can.
You might hear that and more as we get into our next matchup on the Home Team Report, coming up next on episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
And we welcome you back to episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The Weapon Dan Dembski, Swiss Army Knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. The next matchup we get into is the 3-man booth Civil War part number 2, my friend Carlos. Part number 2.
What is it?
Oh, I thought you were pulling that thing up. Never mind. The Chiefs over Carlos's Chiefs over my Washington Commanders, 28-7 on Monday Night Football.
I'll let you go first.
I mean, it was a very interesting game to start. Let's just say that.
Cue the Kirby sad music.
Actually, he's not yet.
I mean,
Okay.
it was, I don't know, very interesting. Commanders are driving down the field, you hit Debo, and let's go to the football and intercept it. The Chiefs are doing what they do best. Marshawn Lattimore, the Chiefs are driving. Patrick puts a dot throw, hits Lattimore, and he makes an interception. I'm like, what's going on here? Seeing a Lattimore interception, that's foreign to me. I'm sure to all of you, based on everything we've seen from Marshawn Lattimore so far. The halftime score was 7-7. I mean, I couldn't believe that, to be honest.
You're right where you want to be technically in that situation if you're the Commanders at that point.
Yes, that is true. I think the Commanders showed a lot of fight, but
in the first half, I'll give you that.
In the first half, the second half, the train just went off the tracks, and that's because the Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's why they have sustained success over the years. Because the Chiefs do what they do best. They get back to playing their brand of football. And I think we've seen this before. The Kansas City Chiefs make mistakes off to a slow start, but they get things back into gear, and I think that's what they did. It was by no sense perfect, but they did a lot better in the second half than I think in the first half, which was just a crazy first half, in my opinion. But, I mean, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and that's why. I will credit the Commanders. They came out and fought, but just in the second half, the Chiefs made more adjustments that the Commanders could not handle. And I mean, that's pretty much case in point from what I have.
See, I didn't need to play it. But yeah, I mean, look, was it a weird first half? Yes. Was it a little concerning? Yes. Just because given how the last time we were on Monday Night Football with the Jags and how that game went, and then on top of that, the Commanders did a great job in the first half of exploiting our offensive line troubles with not having Trey Smith in. And Jalen Moore actually had a rough time there in that first half. They were really targeting those two guys. Obviously, with Simmons still out, and we're still waiting for him to come back, which is looking like he's going to be after the bye week. But then the guys went into the locker room, and it was just known, look, we come out, we score, this game is pretty much done, because at the end of the day, the Commanders were moving the ball, but they weren't getting points. And it was because of going for it on fourth down, which we knew they were desperate because they wanted to kind of prove a point here.
They were aggressive against this Chiefs team too.
They were. I mean, but Dan Quinn said that that's what they were going to do. They were going to be aggressive. They're going to live life on the edge. Now they probably should have gone for some. They should have kicked some field goals, but they decided against.
Doesn't help when your kicker's on.
You had a kicker that we had last year who we trusted to kick game-winning kicks.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. You can trust this kid. But you guys didn't. You guys left points on the table. It's okay. The game is done. But I want to address something here. Something that I saw Mr. Josh Kirby post on his social media channels. He told his little Cowboys, buddy, that this game wasn't a blowout. Kirby, this was a blowout. You guys lost to the Dallas Cowboys 44-22 by 22 points.
Yeah,
Plus
that was a blowout.
28-7 to 21 points. It's a blowout in your estimation.
It's a blowout.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why I said that. It's because looking
Injuries because Marcus Mariota played because what are you going to say?
No, I was gonna say it. I mean, yeah. I mean the scoreboard.
Stumped him.
No,
Stumped him.
the scoreboard shows a blowout, but 28. I picture in my mind a blowout like 50-7, 50-14, 28-7. I mean, that's still reachable in terms of, hey,
Kirby,
we have
technically speaking, 22-44 was reachable then.
Yeah.
That's only a 1 point difference.
Yeah, it just looks like
So,
a big.
but by all accounts, it was the same margin of point loss right there. So it was a blowout by your
And I
estimation.
actually figured that out too. That they got the bigger blowout in this game, which I expected.
And I wonder how many first downs the Commanders had in the second half. It wasn't a ton.
Not a lot.
They didn't really have the ball a lot in the second half.
That's true.
The Chiefs dominated. It was just touchdown drive after touchdown drive, and it was long drives. So we killed a majority of the game right there. Was that second half? I mean, Kirby's dad was complaining about it, but it's true. The whole notion of them playing zone was crazy work to do against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was
because
really
like
dumb.
so like in the first half, like they did good defensively. Like they were actually like causing a lot of troubles. And then I have no idea what happened in that second half where they just decided to go zone and not cover anybody. And then their offensive line, what's your guys' right tackle's name?
Tunsil.
Not Tunsil, that's your left tackle. He's next to Cosme. Connor
Coleman. Brandon Coleman.
Yeah, no, not Coleman. Coleman's the backup left tackle. I don't know. Your right tackle forgot to completely block.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that
on that one sack that pissed
Connerly.
Mariota off.
Connerly Jr.
Connerly,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Oh yeah,
Connerly.
the rookie. He's our rookie draft.
Yeah,
pick.
he he didn't block anybody. He just let Dana run right by him, and he got straight to Marcus Mariota. Look, it was always going to be tough for you guys to come into this building and win the game, even if you guys were completely healthy. It was even worse made when Jaden got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Mariota does have a history of beating the Kansas City Chiefs and being a thorn in the Kansas City Chiefs side. But here's the problem, Marcus Mariota. He's got a noodle arm now. In all honesty, like that touchdown pass to Scary Terry, that was the most lollipop pass I've ever seen, man. That thing was up there forever. Yeah, by the way, Terry McLaurin, phenomenal game. He was awesome. He was awesome.
That's why they paid him the big bucks.
Yeah, except you were telling me they shouldn't have signed him, because of his injury.
Yeah.
Look, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde over here.
But he came out and performed. He came out and performed.
Hold on, tell me this, Kirby, because I'm getting like mixed reports from everything that I've been hearing. So did he actually re-aggravate that quad injury last night? Or did they take him out just for precautionary reasons because the game was over and they didn't want to risk him maybe re-aggravating it?
On the report, technically, yes, but he came out himself and said it was no big deal. He's fine.
Okay, cool. Because that actually like kind of scared me a little bit when I started hearing post game that he might have re-aggravated it and all that stuff. And I was like, dude, come on. Like he just came back. He looks phenomenal. Like he's got to play. You guys are in a tough spot. The Commanders are.
8% chance to make it to the playoffs.
I just think
it's not your year.
I just don't think it is.
I have the perfect answer.
Okay.
Just hear me out. Don't interrupt me.
Okay.
And you can call me.
Okay. We'll clear the lane for you.
BS.
We'll clear the lane for you.
You got it.
You can call me on my BS after. But
okay,
ladies and gentlemen, a man named Dan Quinn. He led the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn led this Atlanta Falcons team to a Super Bowl that was played against the New England Patriots.
Absolutely You are not muting our mics like that. What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh.
Continue.
See, I've been on StreamYard for so long and had no clue that you could talk over me if I was spot. Oh.
What are you doing? Okay, you know what? This is starting to go off the rails. Let's just get back to what we're saying. Just go on.
Listen, so 28-7, we all know the finish to that Super Bowl. Dan Quinn, Washington Commanders, first year. The Commanders make it all the way to the NFC Championship game. That was the Commanders 28. We're like, oh, the fan base is like, oh man, yes, we can make it to the Super Bowl, this and that, add a bunch of older guys and stuff.
Let him finish.
The comeback of 28-3. I said 28-7.
Yeah, you said 28. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
we know what you meant.
We know what you meant.
The comeback from 28-3 is this season. It's evident. But it's just, I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, this is a perfect analogy.
Here we go. You've done it. You have done it.
Attention, loyal listeners of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The following segment contains high levels of Kirby brand whining, complaining, and possible overreaction to sports-related events. We'd like to take a moment to apologize, but let's be real. You already know what you signed up for. While we strive to bring you balanced and informative commentary, sometimes the passion overflows. Please enjoy the upcoming segment responsibly. Thank you for your patience and continued support. Kirby's Complaint Corner begins now.
Perfect. I was really glad we got that in.
Shut the hell up, Kirby. Just shut the hell up. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking? How is going to the championship game 28 and this season being 3? Dude, this is just a year from hell for you guys. It doesn't mean that's what it's happened. How many times has it happened to the Dallas Cowboys? How many times has it happened to the Baltimore Ravens where they have a great season and then next year they're not as good? It's happening to Dan's team right now. This is the ebb and flow of
the National Football League.
Yes. Yeah. And again, the Chiefs are one thing. The Chiefs are an anomaly. Again, it's actually a miracle that we already have a team that is having this sustained success so soon after the past team that was doing that. It normally takes a few years for this type of success to happen, but the two dynasties kind of overlapped, and that's just not normal. Again, what the Chiefs are doing is not normal for every year since Patrick Mahomes has been the starter, they get to the AFC Championship game. That's not normal. What you're seeing with the Commanders is normal, especially when you guys invested in older players. We have said this time and time again. You guys were never going to get back to the championship game this season, probably because of how tough the schedule was.
Yeah,
it was going to be. And especially when you're in a division with the Eagles, it's just gonna be hard. This whole 28-3 analogy you're trying to use makes no sense. This just is showing you guys that it's going to that there's still a lot more work to be done, but it's not saying that Dan Quinn is not capable of leading this. It's just there's been a lot of injuries. Tougher schedule. You're on everybody's radar now. It just is what it is. So just enough of this. Dan, what do you got?
No, this is something that I've said. Like almost the last couple weeks, I think we've had this discussion, Carlos. And I mean, what have I said? I said the same thing you did. The Chiefs are an anomaly. There's no one who is like them. You can't compare yourself to a team like the Chiefs. And I think the norm, rather, is what the Commanders are experiencing. Once you get to an NFC or AFC championship game, it is hard to get back. It is just
perfect
hard
analogy
to get back.
Perfect analogy. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
They went to a Super Bowl. They got to an AFC championship game again. They have not been back since.
Right. And they have all
there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities too between the two franchises, not in the owner anymore, right? Your owner is actually investing in the franchise
he's actually
and
good
is
now.
learning as he's going along, whereas the Bengals are just a cheap franchise who don't want to protect their asset. But like, especially like in terms of scheme, right? Like you guys run a majority of your plays out of the shotgun. So do the Bengals. What is going on with both of your quarterbacks right now? Joe Burrow's pretty much done for the year. Jaden Daniels is hurt. There's a lot of similarities between you two. And it's more so what the Commanders are going to learn is, hey, you guys need young talent, but there's nothing you can really necessarily do this season. So the season's lost. Maybe we don't risk Jaden Daniels anymore. We protect the franchise. We don't risk Jaden.
I agree with that. I agree.
And we reevaluate. We know that the Commanders, I don't know if I can necessarily say they draft well, but we know there's a lot of good talent coming in the draft. Okay.
Here's my thing too.
Okay.
I'm just worried that the NFC Championship game was so great. The whole fan base, including myself, was on cloud nine when the Commanders went into Detroit and made a statement.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you should have been.
So,
you should have been.
So I'm afraid of this, that it's going to be another 30, 40, 50 years before we can taste that again. Like we've been.
That's also rare, right? Like you have to keep that in mind as well. Like,
well, just think about it. But just think about it. It could be, and if it is, it is. That's what it is. Think about it. The Dallas Cowboys have taken 30 freaking years just to get anywhere. They still haven't been there. You guys have been there. Okay, so
recently, yeah.
The beginning of the dynasty for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs hadn't been to a Super Bowl in decades. So it's you guys have the quarterback. Does he need to still put on some more weight? Yes. He still has a very
bulk up
frame. Does he need to protect himself better? Yes. Does Cliff Kingsbury have to kind of change his scheme a little bit so that they start working a little under center more to protect Jaden Daniels? Yes. Do I think the Commanders have the right people in place to steer the ship the right way? Yes. Look, it's only year what?
2.
It's year 2 of the Dan Quinn experience.
Right.
You got to let this cook and marinate. It's not going to, like, again, last year was a Cinderella run. Nobody expected you guys to do that. But you guys also had a much easier schedule to play, and nobody saw you guys coming. This year, you were playing the top teams, and everybody kind of figured out what you guys were doing. You guys have to adapt. And the beautiful thing is that you guys will have a much easier schedule next year because most likely you guys will finish either 3rd or 4th in the division. Whereas last year you had a 2nd place schedule. Now you're going to have a 3rd place schedule. I don't necessarily know. I don't think you guys are going to finish in last place. Now with the Giants and the way they're playing. But yeah, just this 20-3 analogy.
It's not going.
Enough.
I'll say 2.
Enough.
I'll say 2. The biggest thing that they had to improve on in the offseason they didn't was the defense. We talked about this. I mean, we
thought they made good moves. We thought they did, and it just didn't pan out.
On paper, it looked good. Like Lattimore seemed like a pretty good move at the time, but
it was something more than what they had. Because who did they have before? I can't even remember his name, but he sucked.
Emmanuel Forbes.
Yes, Forbes.
He's actually been balling a little bit in Los Angeles.
Well, sometimes a change of scenery helps these guys. It's
so
how it goes, but
I'm not. I still am not a fan of Lattimore. One interception will not change my mind there. Let's just throw that out there.
That's
it's like I just said. Your defense still needs to improve a bunch if you're going to get back into contention again with this team.
Yeah,
because the offense can the offense can be good with Jaden Daniels, but unless you're scoring 50 points a game, it's not going to matter with this defense. It's really not.
Yeah,
it's the biggest thing y'all got to work on this offseason. And Carlos is exactly right about Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. Like, you have to do more to protect your quarterback. I mean, look at what happened with I'm trying to think of his name. Kyler Murray. I mean, he had a fair amount of injuries. He didn't really
Still does.
yeah. Kingsbury never changed the scheme there, and I mean, part of that you could blame on Kyler Murray as well, just not being able to adapt. But I think it's a little bit on the quarterback as well. But yeah, I think that's kind of a recipe for disaster. You've got to do everything you can to protect your franchise quarterback, and yeah, he's got to put some muscle on for sure. He's still too small, I think, to play the position. But that's another issue.
But
Sorry,
I
Kirby,
mean,
go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I mean, just going back to this game in closing, the start was weird. I didn't really expect a 7-7 halftime score, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they did exactly what I expected them to do coming out in the second half and play a quality brand of football that Andy Reid and the Chiefs expect. I know, Carlos, it probably was not perfect in your mind, but the Chiefs got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes is playing at an MVP level still. Look, those 2 interceptions he threw in the first half, I mean, one was definitely his fault. I don't think he should have ever thrown that pass. He was trying to back shoulder it to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown didn't really even fight for it, and that put that put us behind the 8 ball. Is he frozen?
Yeah.
Yep. So that put us behind the 8 ball. I was so confused. Okay, he's gone. Nope, then he's back.
He's back.
He's gone.
No, he's
gone. But yeah, that put us behind. You know, that hurt us there. That second one, that was on Travis Kelce. He should have.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he should have caught that easy. I don't know what's going on here with him. He's lost internet connection or something. Not sure. We'll see if he comes back. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, Mahomes is playing at an MVP level, like I said. I keep seeing this thing where everybody's like, "Oh yeah, the Chiefs are the scariest team, but the Colts are still the best team." Who have the Indianapolis Colts played, man?
The Colts.
The one
Colts
team
are an
that
anomaly this year. The Colts are the anomaly this year.
Because they haven't played anybody. And
Yeah.
the one team that they have played, they lost. They lost to the Rams. And yeah, they beat the Chargers, but we see the Chargers aren't necessarily
Chargers
all
are
that they
up
were
and
made out
down.
to be.
They're up and down.
And so there he is. I guess he was having camera issues with the other.
I'm sorry, boys.
It's all right. I'm guessing that your other camera was messed up. But anyways, yeah. So right now, Patrick Mahomes is my MVP, and he's probably going to go out and win this. We got this tough game against Buffalo. Was this perfect? No, but we ended it, the right way. The second half we came out, scored, and we just couldn't, and we scored. We didn't punt until the fourth quarter. So
that's right.
It's a good day when that happens. So.
I'll say too for the Commanders, it's a concern when your leading rusher is your quarterback, and that rusher had 28 yards. That's a problem. And I know Krusky Merritt is,
yeah, but we see every running back struggles against the Chiefs. Saquon struggled.
That's true.
Derrick Henry struggled. The Chiefs have a great run defense.
They have a really good rush defense. That's
true. They know how to stop it. Whereas. And we'll see in a couple weeks when we do play Indianapolis. Can we stop Jonathan Taylor, who's having a beast of a season? But we got to focus on the Bills. The Bills are in front of us. More than likely, we're going to lose because we always lose in the regular season to them, and we always beat them in the playoffs. But
beat them when it matters.
Yes. But yeah, long story short, it was a great performance in the second half. Defense shut down the Commanders, and then the offense just went back to doing what we had been doing for the past few weeks. And Rashee Rice, man, God, is he such an animal. And he opens up Travis Kelce. That's why Travis Kelce was able to get 99 yards. And it's still incredible to me that this team hasn't had a 100-yard receiver yet. And we were 1 yard. We were 1 yard away from it. But Travis Kelce was pretty good after that, after causing that interception.
He bounced back nicely.
He bounced back. Kareem Hunt did a great job, too, in short yardage situations. Apparently, he's a little dinged up, though. Same with Nick Bolton, who is that dude's a beast, but yeah, it looks like he's a little dinged up too. So hopefully these guys will be ready to go for Sunday. We're on a short week here, which sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, now we got to go to Buffalo and win this game. But yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to say. The Chiefs were just dominant, and the Commanders just came in. They had some juice. They wanted to try to make a point, but when you got Marcus Mariota at quarterback and just all the injuries, it's a tough sell.
Yep. I agree with that fully. I am back. You would think that my camera with it plugged into the USB port would be charging, but somehow it died. So here we are.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sure. That's above me. So I just charged it, and we have the backup, a webcam, good to go. But that is the home team report as the Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Washington Commanders. Do you have a graphic you're going to show us, Carlos, or you're not doing that?
I mean, I was going to do it later, but I guess I can do it now. But
Just do it now.
The victor of the 3-man booth civil war is your boy, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez, sitting up for the listeners. It is just a comic book rendering with Kirby and Dan in. We're basically in a throne room. I'm sitting upon the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones, and I have 3 championship belts at my feet. And Kirby and Dan are laying on the ground, defeated after taking those butt kickings by the Kansas City Chiefs. But yes,
I like how Kirby looks like a blonde Travis Kelce. That's pretty funny.
I wouldn't say that, but
you would.
I suppose. No,
I think he's got the face.
I would not say that, but yeah, you guys got your butts kicked this season, so I'd say I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Stay classy, Carlos. Never change.
I will never change.
Yeah, we know.
So
Yep. So a shift in the show, some differing plans. We're going to take a quick break. Then Dan and Carlos takes you the rest of the way with the Kirby on Sports PickEm here on episode 234 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. You don't want to miss the Kirby on Sports podcast. Stay tuned.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. Fall is here, and New Look Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, New Look offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call New Look Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them 2025.nullook@gmail.com.
All right, I guess I'm gonna take us the rest of the way from here, for the foreseeable future here.
I can help you out here and there, but yeah, I don't have control of anything. But yeah, so you're
So here we go. Our fearless leader, Josh Kirby, had to step away. He is not feeling the greatest, but we appreciate him for powering through and at least getting us this far. So we will take it the rest of the way, as good teammates do. As we do America's favorite segment, the
Best.
Kirby on Sports PickEms from this good to average podcast. Yeah. So we got some interesting developments here. Dan has completely rebounded and is now tied for first place with your boy,
I knew it.
the Swiss Army knife, who had a midweek. I started out 0-3 and finished it 3-0, so I went 3-3 for the week.
You rebounded well. Yeah.
I definitely did. Kirby, unfortunately, his gamble to basically make every pick different from mine did not pay off.
Nope.
And he is now 2 games behind at 27 and 20. So with that being said, the games, and me and Dan, did I say what our record was? Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, me and Dan are tied at 29 and 18.
What was mine for the week, if you don't mind me asking?
Concise question.
Was either 4-2 or
you were going in. You were 3-2, and yes, you picked so you were 4-2 for the week.
4-2.
I was 3-3, and Kirby ended up being 2-4.
Oh, he had a really bad week. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that we had to make him pick the Commanders. So.
Well, that's part of your team being on there.
Well, so when it came out that Lamar wasn't going to be in the game and the whole debacle happened Saturday, I debated being like, Dan, like telling you guys, hey, we can change this game if you want.
I was confident.
Yeah, mostly because I was like, that kind of sucks. We all thought Lamar was going to play and all that stuff, and then he didn't. And then I was like, wait. I didn't really give that luxury to Kirby when we knew that Jaden wasn't going to play, so I can't give that to Dan.
Can't do it.
So I just left it the way it was, and it worked. It worked out in your favor because you were the only one that picked the Ravens. It did not work out in Kirby's favor since he was the only one that picked the
Not sure I would have picked them if I had free will, but I.
Well, unfortunately, contractually, you are obligated to.
So,
with that being said. We will be picking the following games. The marquee matchup of the week. It will be televised nationally on CBS at 4:25. Everybody's getting this game. I think there is another 4:00 game. I'm not sure. But pretty much CBS is like, everybody gets this game. Buffalo, Kansas City. This is going to be the highest rated game of the year. It always is. This is the Brady Manning of this era. We will be picking that game. We will be picking Pittsburgh against the already crowned Indianapolis Colts as the best team in the AFC just because they have one loss. Yep. Again, they haven't played anybody, so don't at me. We will be picking the Washington Commanders wearing their throwback Redskins style jerseys, playing the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football, who will be wearing their throwback jerseys 70s. As well. Yeah. Look good. We're going to pick the Dallas Cowboys against the Arizona Cardinals, the New England Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons. Hilariously, we had the 28-3 reference already. Unintentionally, but we did. And then we will be picking the Thursday night matchup between Miami and Baltimore. So for the second straight week in a row, all 3 of our teams are on, except this time, 2 of our teams are not facing each other. Mm-hmm. So I will go first, as always, as your three-time Pick'ems champion. I will be taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Buffalo Bills, as I'm contractually obligated to, and because I just think that the Buffalo Bills are kind of overrated. I think that they get a lot of hype. They're the September champs once again, and since then haven't necessarily looked that great. They also just lost Ed Oliver for the season, and like I said, with the Chiefs offense the way they're playing right now, it's going to be really hard to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But we know Josh Allen plays. For us, this is just another game. For Buffalo, this is their Super Bowl because we are the team that always ends it for them. And with that being said, don't color me. I won't be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs do lose this game. But I'm going to pick them to win. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts over the Pittsburgh Steelers. As much as I've been giving them grief, the Colts are playing good football. And I do think that they are a better team than Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh has the most expensive defense. They're paying a lot of guys a lot of money on that team, and they just haven't lived up to the hype. And Aaron Rodgers, while he's been playing good, that offense is struggling mostly because they need another receiver. Which hilariously they had Pickens on the team and they decided to let him go, which it was probably for the best. It wasn't working out there, and it seems to be working out better for him in Dallas. Yeah. But yes, I will take the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to be the only one taking the Seattle Seahawks. Why? I don't know. I don't understand why. Well, we know why Kirby's taking them. Dan, I was surprised by this for you.
This is my upset pick of the week. That's all I'll say.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. I think Sam Darnold and that Seahawks team has been playing very well, they've been consistent, and that's all you can ask for Sam Darnold, is at least to be consistent and stave off pumpkin mode. I'm going to take also, I'm not sure. I don't think Jaden's going to play. And if he doesn't play, I'm not entirely sure how Washington wins with Marcus Mariota against that Seattle defense, which is pretty good. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys over the Arizona Cardinals. Look, I know that there's a stat that Kyler Murray has never lost in AT&T Stadium, but we see it. When the Dallas Cowboys are at home, they are a different animal because they don't have to worry about, the outside, the hostile environment factors and being in a different stadium. They're at home. They just dominate at home. And we know if this goes into shootout mode, most likely Dallas will win because they have the weapons to win, whereas Arizona is relying on Kyler Murray, who just has proven not to be that reliable. I'm going to take the New England Patriots over the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta looked terrible this past week with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, and they honestly haven't looked that great with Michael Penix either at quarterback. New England, on the other hand, Drake May is in third place for MVP voting right now. He's got the third best odds. Not me. I knew them hiring Mike Vrabel and bringing in Josh McDaniels was going to significantly help the New England Patriots. I didn't think it was going to be this quick of a turnaround for them. And, good for them. Look, they made the right move by bringing in Vrabel, and Drake May is playing phenomenal football, and that whole entire New England team is playing great football. Except for that line. That offensive line is, Myles Garrett getting 5 sacks is crazy work, and yet they still managed to win. But anyways, I will take the New England Patriots over the Atlanta Falcons. And then I will take the Baltimore Ravens over the Miami Dolphins, mostly because I just don't trust the Miami Dolphins whatsoever. I just don't. I don't trust them. I know that they beat the Atlanta Falcons, but again, it was the Kirk Cousins-led Atlanta Falcons. And Baltimore is desperate. Miami is still dealing with some turmoil, I feel. So I guess I'll go over the Stooges picks real quick. He's going to take the Buffalo Bills. I don't necessarily have a reason. I guess he just believes in the Bills. I guess history has told him to pick the Bills.
Regular season history, correct.
Yeah. He's going to take the Indianapolis Colts. Because that's actually like the best pick. He's going to take the Commanders because he's contractually obligated to. He's going to take the Cowboys because secretly he's still the biggest Cowboys mark we know. He's the biggest Cowboys fan, and that's why he always picks
the Cowboys.
He's going to pick the Patriots because he hopes that in his 20-3 analogy, he's actually the one making the comeback. He's not the Falcons in that situation. And he's going to take the Ravens because he's just taking the Ravens. So with that, I will send it over to my esteemed co-host, the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes. Hilarious for this week, Dan Demsky.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Carlos. Great introduction as always. So here are my picks for week 9 of the PickEm. If you want to make some money, I'd say bet with my picks. Maybe not all of them because I'm not confident in all of them this week, but most of them I will say. I'm going to start by picking the Chiefs over the Bills. I kind of like the way the Chiefs have played this season. I felt like they have turned things around after rumors of a rough start after they had a rough start rather, and people were starting to write them off. I feel like they bounced back nicely. And I'll say the Bills have really not beaten any solid teams, except I guess if you want to count the Ravens, because at that time they were.
It was Ravens at full
considered-
strength.
Ravens were a solid team at the time, and they won by 1 point. So,
In a miraculous
other than
comeback.
that, the Bills have not beaten really a playoff team. So I don't have a lot of confidence in them right now. That they haven't shown me that they can do this. So this season, so I will take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Colts over the Steelers. This seems to be the easiest pick. Well, maybe not the easiest pick in the pick'em, but it's definitely up there for this week. I mean, Carlos alluded to it. The way Daniel Jones has played has been exceptional, and I think this is a good chance. We've said, earlier on in the podcast, the Colts really haven't played a team that either was a playoff team or could be a playoff team, and that there's a chance for them to finally come out and show they can do that. So I think they will beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I'm going to take the Commanders over the Seahawks. This is my upset pick of the week. This was one I wasn't confident sending in. I got to be honest with you, but Jaden Daniels' status is unknown. He's expected to practice fully tomorrow. So if that goes well, I would not be surprised if he is ready to go for Sunday Night Football against Seattle. And if he plays, I think he's going to play well. And I do think the Commanders will upset the Seahawks. That's my crazy pick so far this season that I am, again, not 100% confident in, but it's also always tough for that West Coast team to come all the way east. The whole routine of everything kind of gets thrown off a little bit. Usually it's a fine adjustment, but some teams struggle with it. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle has a hard time there. So give me the Commanders there. I will take the Cowboys over the Arizona Cardinals. This, to me, is a pretty easy pick. I know you talked about Kyler Murray's struggles, but the Cardinals' defense I think they're really going to struggle against this Cowboys passing attack, especially. They just don't have the secondary to match up well with Dallas's receivers, and just how Dak has been slinging the ball all over. I think Arizona is going to struggle in that respect. So give me Dallas and a big game from Dak Prescott. I will take the Patriots over the Falcons. You pretty much nailed it, Carlos. These are two teams in completely different trajectories right now. You have the Patriots, who have been the surprise of the season for a lot of people in the way Drake May has played, and the Falcons, just can't seem to find any sort of consistency at all at the quarterback position or really with anything. So I think the Patriots win this game by a couple scores. And then last but not least, I will take my Baltimore Ravens over the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night. Must-win game, like we said earlier. Every game's a playoff game for the Ravens from here on out. So let's do it. Let's go out and go on the road and beat Tua and an interesting Dolphins team. I'll say that much. And those are my picks for this week. Thank you so much, Carlos. Back to you, sir.
Okay, so before we go, a little history.
Let's do some history.
So going into week 9 last year, Dan, you were in first place at 32-16. So
I was cooking.
You were cooking last year. That's about a 3. Well, again, we're missing a game. So technically a 2-game difference.
Sure.
I was in second. Well, actually, wrong. Then me and Kirby were both tied for second place at 30-18, thus proving I'm still on pace with myself from last year. And Kirby has fallen 2 games to the worse than he was last year. Is the miracle run over for Josh Kirby? I don't know yet.
Miracle run.
Because this was supposed to be the year that he finished it. He finished the story. The year he dethroned the undethronable. Did I say that right?
I don't know if it's a word. Let's just roll with it like it is. I like that.
this was supposed to be the year he, if anybody was going to beat me, it would, story wise, it would have made sense for him to do it. Right.
Yep.
He's never won the
28-3,
pick'ems,
if you will.
Yeah. He's never, he's the ultimate underdog. You've lost the pick'ems 4 years in a row. At least Dan's got one championship and he's been there for every single one where it's come down to the last game.
Come down to the end.
But
too many times.
It's just, he's starting to fall a little behind. Look, we still got a lot of season left, but I'm a little concerned for Kirby because
if the Chiefs beat the Bills, I'm concerned officially. Yeah, for sure.
But it's not even. If the Chiefs beat the Bills and then the Commanders lose, that's another 2 games he falls behind me.
Yeah,
he'll fall 1 game behind you. And then I'll take, so then he'll be 4 games behind. And, once I get the 4-game lead, it's hard for him to come back at that point.
Yeah, you have to be pretty much perfect. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to win here because I want to retire. I want to retire. Okay.
I'd like you to as well. It's no fun losing to you every year.
I want to retire, and then you guys can replace me with any stooge you want. I don't care who it is. It could be a monkey for all I care. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever helps you guys win. But at the end of the day, I will retire as the last real champion like John Cena, the never seen 4. It's not 17 because I can't win this thing 17 times. If I win this thing 17 times, we're just ending the segment.
We'll all be old and gray by then.
Yeah, definitely. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, those are our picks. We will post these up. Well, Kirby will post these up as soon as I send them to him, and go ahead and pick along with us. I don't know if it starts now, if it's going to start with this one, but there might be some incentives coming soon if you make the correct picks very soon. Well, an interesting way to end the show. Obviously, again, we'd like to thank Kirby for toughing it out.
Toughing it out. Yep.
Yeah, toughing it out, and at least sticking around so he could face the music of losing the 3-man booth civil war to me.
Yes.
Something that Dan, did you take your lickings when you lost? I don't remember if you came on that show.
One of them I missed. I don't remember if it was that.
I can't remember which one it was. But anyways, we're gonna end it here, I guess. I'm not ready to host, so I am kind of struggling with this closing. But we like to thank our sponsors before we go. Frederick County Parks and Recs, the title sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, and Barry Pearson Equipment Share Advanced Solutions. For any equipment rental needs, please contact Barry Pearson at 540-935-1069. And of course, the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS podcast for 12% off your order every single time. For Josh Kirby, Cream Cheese, the Stooge, we hope you feel better. For my esteemed co-host, the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes, the OG champion.
Thank you.
Dan Rutsky, thanks for hopping on. And I, of course, am your partial host.
Yeah.
Carlos the Swiss Army Knife.
1/3
Martinez,
host.
the three-time Pick'ems champion. And for all of us here, we hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for listening, and keep it classy.